Welcome back to my channel about UX design. My name is Ines, I am a principal product designer, content creator and a hiring manager. And this video is a whiteboard UX design challenge with my mentee Paulina, who has agreed to make it publicly. First you will watch the raw recording of this interview. I recommend you to take notes. What did you like? What did not go so well? And after this piece I will return back to you and give you my perspective on this interview and why Paulina, in my opinion, did not make it through. What criteria did I have? What mistakes she did? And how they could be avoided. I hope this will be helpful. Have fun watching. Welcome to this interview. I suggest we shall start. And for the beginning, I'd like you to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi. I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much, Ines. My name is Paulina. I'm product designer with 6 years of experience. I worked as a designer on different projects in different fields like B2B, B2C, and I'm really happy to be here, as I said. I don't know, maybe it's enough.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And as we discussed in the beginning, this is going to be a design exercise or also known as a whiteboard challenge interview, where I will give you some imaginary design tasks and will ask you to just show me and demonstrate how you would approach solving them. During the call, you can use any tool that you want. You can use pen and paper. You can open Figma and start sketching there. You can open Miro, you can open websites and browse through them as well. So anything that you need. There is going to be 2 challenges. They will be connected. And we're going to talk about IKEA.
Yeah,
So
great.
your challenge will be about it. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Sounds interesting.
Okay. Great. So then let me read you the first challenge and you can ask me to repeat it as well. Okay. IKEA furniture is a good combination of quality and price. And most people are satisfied by what they buy. However, furniture must be tried on in the actual living place. So people return a lot of products. So people return products a lot, which affects the business and customer satisfaction. Imagine you want to improve returns for IKEA. And you want to know more about why people return IKEA products. How would you gather feedback about the returns, provided that most customers return products offline in IKEA stores? Yeah, you can start.
Interesting. Yeah. Let me think a couple of minutes. I understand the task. The main goal of task that to maybe maintains the returning the product or understand better why people wanted to return the IKEA stuff. Am I right? Thank you. Yeah. I'm thinking what it can be. Firstly, of course, I would like to know more about users and about their preference and why they wanna why they choose IKEA for which purpose. And of course, firstly, uh, I need to gather information from them as maybe interview, maybe some surveys and organize some researches for gathering information from
What
them.
information would you gather?
Um, Mostly about their goals and what they want to solve, why they want to buy some products, and in which cases they uh, returning the product. Mm, yeah, mostly about that things. Mm. But I'm thinking about the the solution is can be what some assumption where that we have. Mm. Seems like here we no need to create some product. Mm. What business wanted to get after my work? If
Business want
I
to know why people return certain products to ensure they may increase the quality of certain products. Yeah, maybe people need something else, those kind of things, and eventually reduce returns.
Mhm. Seems like we need to do big research, huge research about that, and discover that situation. Um, mm, and define the problems that people have and why they wanted to return their products. Also, I think that it can be different problems, like they don't have some details, for example, not enough, and they wanted to return the product because it's not all. And also they can return because it's not fit to their flat. Um, mm, and yeah, mostly we need to ask them about their previous experience, but they can have some bias about their experience. And mm, yeah, I guess it would be only researchers if I understand correctly that thing.
So if I understand your proposal, you suggest that we will do massive research for all IKEA products and we'll know, like as a one-time thing, why do people return them for each and every product of IKEA?
No, of course not. For each product, it would be too huge research, and hmm, I guess we need to find people who have such a experience returning product to IKEA and ask them why they did it and um, how was their experience, is was satisfied or not. To be honest, my experience to returning IKEA product was great. I would say they suggest me a coffee, for example, when I returning and waited um, the decision about it. Um, yeah, it should be like or interview or surveys where I would ask people about their experience and gathered information about it and ask about their opinion about it and so on. Yeah, firstly, it would be everything about their experience and everything that they can provide me, some maybe new insights from them. I'm not sure that it's should be about each product. I guess it should be like all their experience that they have, and also we can um, uh, check maybe how they um, mm, do that and to find um, and define their problems as a which type of that problems they have and uh, maybe in some of type they have more it's not like risk but more um, like to return product um, like for example not enough color palette maybe we can as IKEA provide them more colors more textures and so on or maybe we can offer them something that they can mm, mm, I don't know, to fit the furniture like AR or some 3D version of products that they can add in their flats and to see how it would be in their flats. And maybe I can do just a picture of my flat, empty flat, and to add such furniture and so on. Maybe we can them also offer some ideas which would be better for them um, to be sure that our product would be fit for them. And yeah, and but mostly, yeah, I need to gather all problem that they have with our products, because
Mhm.
in my mind it's like it's not feasible, it's not it's not my size is it sounds not exactly what I mean, but maybe I'm not sure about my size of flat, and it's not convenient, and yeah, I need to be sure and gathered all that problem that they have, why they want to return it. But also, it's really good that IKEA to provide me such a such thing that I can return it for long period, like if I remember correctly, around a year. It's also great for people. Mm, think that they can decide for such a long time.
So,
Mm.
if I understand you correctly, to improve returns on IKEA, you suggest to collect return reasons for products, for IKEA products.
Yeah.
And as far as I understand, the IKEA has more than like thousands of products. How would you collect all those return reasons for those thousands of products, provided that most people are coming to IKEA offline and drop the products there?
Mm. First thing that came to my mind, it's like just ask them during the process of returning and ask them why. Maybe it can be a short survey near, for example, place when you can return. Like I think you know that it's like the small screens with emoji about how you satisfied of our service and so on. It's can be like that, or it's uh, maybe some links or QR codes to scan and to go to the survey and ask on the question, follow question after returning. And maybe they also can provide us information about like the queue was long and and so on. But yeah, I mean that it's can be during the process, and I guess that information would be more valuable than ask them, for example, after 1 year that they did return, for example, and it would be more bias on that stage. Mm, but also it's not bad thing we can do, and also such approach like to find people, and after that we can provide them maybe a little discount that they helped us to gather information uh, about their experience. But yeah, I guess more valuable approach would be to ask them during the returning process. We can talk with them face to face, or provide some survey, or to use just a screen. And to be honest, when people would talk not with person to person, maybe it would be also less bias, that they don't want to show us that they love IKEA, and so maybe they would provide us to more trustful information, that they would communicate not with person who work in IKEA, but with other something like the screen. It's easier for people to provide more trust information. Yeah, we should also understand that people can want to be more friendly, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Interesting idea. I have a couple of questions about that. So, IKEA process when you are returning a product in a physical store could be quite lengthy because when you take an appointment, you wait for up to 20 minutes, right? So, like it's not
Yeah.
coming instantly already. So, how can you ensure that including these one-on-one conversations and venting out about why people are returning the product, you are not prolonging the process that is already exists. And how can you ensure that the user experience will improve or at least stay the same?
Mm, do you mean that is it about bias or something else?
I
That
can
people,
rephrase.
yeah,
So what if I understand your suggestion, you suggest that a person who takes a return also asks why they returned the product. And that means that they will start a conversation. Probably this conversation can take quite long if they will go into the details. How can you ensure that other people that are waiting in this process, for them, the return process will not increase and it will stay the same or even improve, although we are collecting new information throughout this process? Is it more clear now?
yeah, I got it. Um, I think of course, it's should be different people who collect returning items and who would ask about experience, and I guess it should be divided. And yeah, we shouldn't do that experience more um, difficult as uh, we have now. And yeah, of course, it should be divided. That should be different people who collected information, and also I guess it would be interesting just to observe how people to do it, full such experience, and ask follow question during that. I mean, like it's kind of field research when you can observe and after that ask. If I remember correctly, it's type of field research, but I don't remember exactly the name when you can ask question about it, because it's also a little bit another type of field research when you can ask a follow question. But yeah, it should be divided because we can't afford to to do such experience longer. And yeah, and of course we should ask people about it. Maybe they don't want to provide us such information. And I guess as I said, we should then provide not only one approach of provide us their experiences, maybe in internet, maybe after a couple of times. And yeah, but we should understand which information would be more valuable. But um, during the process, of course, it would be valuable in my opinion. Yeah.
Okay, very interesting. So you said that it should be definitely different people, not those who are collecting the returns. Can you like explain me a user flow here?
Yeah, sure. Um, Yeah, also we didn't discuss that IKEA has another approach of returning when you can call them. Maybe it's also possible on site and ask to grab stuff that it's really hard to deliver to their store when I can do that myself. For example, if I have a big I don't know, it's wardrobe or bed, that I can call them and ask about like a delivery, but opposite, delivery back. I don't know the name of that thing, but yeah, it's also possible, and we can also grab that information to ask, provide them their feedback and experience, and um, du through through surveys or interview, I would say. Also during the process, I guess it would be impossible. Yeah. What about user flow? uh I guess I maybe can to write on my paper. Okay. Mm, as a user, I wanted to return some of stuff, and I wanted to return it like mm, oh, sorry, I didn't get it exactly which flow I should explain. It should be like user flow of returning, or user flow or how to ask people about their experience.
I asked the question. So you were talking that when people are dropping off the products for returns in the physical store, would be beneficial to collect return reasons for these products there on site. And we talked about how can we ensure that the process will not become even more long for people who are staying in queue. So, and you suggested that there should be different people who collect those return reasons and not the people who take on the return. So that's where I asked, like, what would be the user flow? How you switched from one person to another?
Mhm. You wanna know more about
Yeah, you
that?
wanna understand this idea, yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you for explanation. Okay. I'm as a user wanted to return a couple of stuff, and I also um, don't wanted to wait too long of my queue, and I'm in store, and I uh, near the place where I can return, and I should take uh, the ticket with my number, and after that I'm should see the screen where I can find my number, and which is it desk, information desk. Is it, do you see?
Yes, it's fine.
Um, yeah. Where is my number? After that, when I see that my number already would be invited to the desk, after that, I'm as user going to return some stuff to desk, and mm, would talk with people about returning, friendly people about how can I return, and so on, information, and how I can return my money by card or some another way. And after that, when um, when we have all that process, some another people, as a researcher, as me, maybe, would be observe all of that way, and after user returning the stuff, we can, or that person can ask about would you like to share your experience with our researcher to improve our your experience to returning the product to understand better why you spent a time for returning that product. It would help to find more better approach. For example, we can ask about help and how that help would help us and how we can improve their experience in the future. And we can ask about the help us and maybe to offer some discount, or maybe we can offer the coffee, for example, with a bun, and yeah, during that interview. Or we can also to ask not only about one approach, as I said. It can be, I don't know, like QR code with survey. It can be one-to-one discussion, or yeah, just a survey on a screen with couple of short question, and we should provide how much time people would spend on it. Like couple of, I don't know, like 7-10 minutes. And yeah, and in that case, after asking about help, the next person can be invited as a next user um, for what? for returning their stuffs. Yeah, I mean like that. As a approach, as I see in such situation, when we can collect the information from users during the returning process. Yeah, like that.
Yes, I think I understand your idea now way better. I also have a question. So, provided that IKEA has thousands of products and they are also improving and launching new products every season, they have seasonal collections, and ideally, they want to have more information about each and every product. How can you make this process that we have just discussed sustainable in such a way that it could be rolled out for all IKEAs around the world and could cover all of the products that could be possibly returned, from small one to big one, so every product, which would be the sustainable way?
Mm, I guess more sustainable way would be on site, like to ask about that when they uh, on site, and maybe to ask about previous thing that they bought. And yeah, because we use their site so often, and we can ask them just a couple of questions during that process.
So
Mm.
by talking to a researcher.
No, not to talking with a researcher. I mean that we should collect information like small survey on site that we can add easily, for example, from Hotjar tool. And we can add a small survey, um, questionnaire, and just like pop up on site that we could collect that information. And of course, it would be not um, big amount big amount of information from each person. It would be less personal information, but it would be like quantitative information that we can collect a lot of. We can ask a lot of people about that, and if it would be possible to maybe filter that people which product they bought already, maybe we can check their not basket, their mm, product list that they already bought, um, or what they wanted to buy, but also we can check their mm, um, bills, for example, that we have in our system, IKEA system, because it's also possible to check their bills that they bought in offline shops and ask people about their experience. Maybe we can also ask them, do you want to return that product? Why we don't want to return that product? And they would told us, it's nice, I like it. And so on. And or of course maybe they have bad experience, they wanted to return because it's not fitable, not nice, and so on. Yeah, I guess on site it would be great thing, and I used a lot of that approach, just it's a small survey to understand better and to collect quantitative information, not a qualitative. But yeah, my approach as I draw, it was more qualitative information and to more personal. Yeah.
I really like this idea about collecting it quantitatively. And could you maybe detail out the flow that you have drawn to show me where would you place this survey?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I now to show you again my notes. Um, okay. Mm, where it would be. Mm, okay, I'm as a user don't want to answer you some question about my experience when I just on the main page, of course. And mm, it would be great thing to understand where uh, user can share their experience uh, more more freely, I would say, like to where I wanted to share my experience. And yeah, we have also think that people wanted to share their bad experience more than a good experience, for example, and why our uh, survey should be extremely short about their experience because they don't want to spend time for providing good experience sometimes, and they would be more um, not happy, but more easier to share bad experience. But it depends on people, what one they provide us. Okay, okay, where it can be. Mm, we should know that they already bought some of things, and of course, person should be uh, login in our system. Mm, if I would ask them about it during the end of their approach, it would be better. For example, if person uh, return to our site for buying some new thing or research new thing, um, yeah, I guess it should be not on the main page, exactly on main page, but maybe uh, it can be like during the process of research, like we have catalog of the different products, and we can add on that page some sidebar. I guess I need to draw bigger. I don't know. Sidebar with question. Would you like to share some your experience And we should show them the picture of the product that they bought previously, about about that they bought already, and what we wanted to ask about that. Or if we have, for example, experience of returning the product, and we already know that person returned that, we can also ask about why you returned that, and also show them picture what the product. Maybe it's not only one, and it's more, but we can show them like +2, for example, items, and ask them couple of questions about it. And like it should be automatically provided to person, like to ask about each product, or about full experience, like what you wanted to share us, like um, why you want why you returned that, or something like that. Mm. I'm not sure exactly about question, but I know that it should be short and clear question like that. It's yeah. I mean, after that they can to see the pop-up with some of information about it, and we should use the picture that for easily to come back to that experience. And also maybe we need to collect information from people who did it not like a year ago, for example, and we would want to talk with people who did it maybe months ago, and the information would be fresh. Like, yeah, the first question, and we should also to provide them how much question would be. For example, the first, but it's, for example, I don't know, 5 question would be on our survey, some question, maybe some picture of the product, what we're asking, and it can be like checklist, not checklist, checkbox, or also area for text. Yeah, that can be different depending on type of question. Yeah.
Yes, okay, thank you. I have only one question to this. I understand the idea. What if I return the product in IKEA, then I went to the physical store, I bought a substitution, and I never get back to the IKEA website for the next month because I just don't need it. I have just bought it. How can you still catch me and ensure that I left a feedback?
Mm, yeah, I guess it's also can be different thing. Like maybe some piece of paper with that after that you will give some discount in IKEA, and so on. But it also can be just in person information that you can provide in person, that you can check the site and to find the survey, or we can ask about it with the letter. It's really can be different way where we can find our users, our clients, and social media also, that we can ask about that type of help, and to remind them that they have such opportunity to have a little discount in IKEA, that everybody loves discounts. And of course, I guess we could find from different ways such users for such type of research. And it's really good thing that IKEA, it's a big business, and we can find the clients everywhere from um, uh, different sources. I mean, like offline, online, and everywhere. We can just ask people from street about their experience because it's a really popular thing. And yeah, I mean that it's possible to remind them about such opportunity that you can help me, you can help us, and we provide you some of type of discount about it. Yeah, like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, I understand it. Indeed, IKEA is a big organization, multinational, and they can reach out to people through multiple channels. But I might tentatively assume that if you just reach out to people on the street, they might not have a recent experience with returning a product. And we
Of
want to
course.
target people exclusively who just did it.
Yeah.
And can you suggest, out of all the ways that are possible and that you have mentioned, what will be the preferred and recommended way, in your opinion, to reach people that can really provide us feedback on the recently returned products, return reasons?
Yeah, just ask them during the returning process. Give them some small piece of paper with a reminder about it. And yeah, of course, it's would be most valuable information, as I said, that we can just remind them about it, about such discount. It would be helpful for us, and it would be good for your future experience. And it's really important, in my opinion, really important to clarify people how they can help, because people love to help others, for example. And when we can explain them what's our main goal here, not only money, for example, but also their experience, their more better experience, and how we can help them to have better experience with IKEA. And it's helpful, I would say, that people would provide you more trustful information, that they would wanted to help you to improve experience and so on. Communication, yeah, it's main approach in re for researchers.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for providing these interesting ideas, definitely. And let's move on to the second challenge, which will be connected to this one. So let's imagine that out of all the ways that IKEA could possibly solve this and reach out to people, we decided that we will send an email to people who are registered as IKEA family, because when they are returning a product, we have the email address, we have a check, like a receipt, right? So like after that they provide us to exchange or return a product. So we know them and we can target them specifically. And after they return that, they will receive an email. And when they click on the link in this email, asking them to provide the reasons why they returned a product, they will see a page where they can do this. Can you please explain to me how would you approach the design of this page, what shall be on this page, and yeah, so on.
Mhm.
You can use
Mm,
any sketching method as you wish.
yeah, thank you. Um, could you repeat, please, the task again?
Yes, sure. So I will even read it. So let's imagine we decide to send follow-up emails to customers with the IKEA family account every time they return products. And by
Mm-hmm.
clicking the link in the email, they open a page where they can leave feedback and return reasons. How would you approach the design of this page? What shall be in there? And please use any sketching method you wish.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mm, mm, yeah, that's family account, and hmm, Seems like I already knew about the goal that it's still the same goal that we wanted to collect the feedback from users about returning products. And mm, yeah, and it should be on our site and with different information. When we send them that email after exactly after returning, yeah.
Yes.
Hmm. Yeah, because we wanted to collect fresh information from them. Yeah, that's good point. And we Mhm. Shall I decide which information we should collect, or mm, it's like can be kind of depends on manager's opinion on so on, or I can suggest something.
The goal is to collect return reasons and improve products and the return, reduce returns initially.
Mhm. I just thinking it's a place for question to you about that, or it's something that I as a researcher should decide. I think mostly, yeah, I should, as a researcher, to decide what question I should ask them. But yeah, I really wanted to maybe ask different people about which type of question we can ask, because I don't want it to be subjective in such way. And maybe to find more question for that, which we can ask our customers. It's like brainstorm with others, people who
Who would you
like.
ask? Whom would you approach?
Hmm?
Whom would you ask and whom would you approach to define those questions?
I mean that I would like to ask my team members about that. Like, but of course, not all team members like who wanted to be participant of uh, that research. For example, like managers or people who work with me on as a designer, as a researcher, depends on type of team, of course, and the analysts, for example, people who have different opinions on that. I guess developers is not would be um, available for that, but we can ask them also if they wanted to help us with that, because we need to maybe to find new ideas, and they can provide us their ideas too. Um, Depends, but mostly, yeah, it's like people who work in such the same approach as a designer, for example. Yeah, I mean that firstly, I don't want to do that alone, because I don't want to be subjective and ask question only about, for example, my experience. I wanted uh, to define the question with other people, and after that to provide our users different questions about it, and we should also define which question would be valuable for us on that stage. And yeah, it's a thing that I wanted to do in that thing. Um, Mm, and I mean that why I can maybe provide you exact question that we can ask people, users. I mean that it's not I think that it should be not subjective, and that's why I offer to ask other people, team members, uh, because yeah, it shouldn't be like only my opinion about that questions. What else I can do there? Mm. We already know the users, the customers that we wanted to ask. They already return some stuff, and yeah.
Let's say you reached out to your team members, you've gathered all together, like manager, user researcher, analyst, but they also say to you, well, IKEA is such a global product. We are not really sure that we can provide you information because even if we are 4 people in the room, we have only limited background and we don't know what's happening in IKEA stores in Asia or something. How can you source out those questions? What would you suggest?
Mm. Great question. Mm. What do you mean? What I'm not sure that I exactly understand.
So the
Mm.
task is to create a page that customers will see when they click in the email
Mm-hmm.
after they have done a return in the store, in a physical store. And there on this page, we need to collect some information with the goal in mind that we need to collect return reasons to improve our products and eventually reduce return rates. So how can we collect information that will be helpful to our goals? Provided that your team members, they are in the same situation as you are, they can't know if IKEA Japan and IKEA Canada are the same and people are returning out of the same reasons. So how can you gather this information? How can you build up this page eventually?
Mm. It also depends on which approach IKEA use for collecting information from different countries. I'm not sure that it's like would be um, general office and that they would suggest the same only one type of a survey for users. And in my mind it's like would be different for different countries, and different people with different background would work on each surveys, and maybe they would have some layout for that, and after that they would suggest their question based on their culture experience. um, I guess it would be more again valuable because we should be sure that our employees you are their customer, and of course we uh, as a big company should gather different information from about our users, so who our target audience and so on. And I guess we already have such a type of information, and our background as researchers already had such information about our users, about our customers, and of course it should be a little bit different depending on the country. Mm. And I guess it's can work like that, like we would have different culture experience, and people would work in their culture background more, I would say. Like uh, we would have a person with different backgrounds. But we can ask our customers to think about question that we would like to ask them after that. Um, of course, we maybe we can base our question on information that we already gathered from field research, for example. Is it possible?
Well, you
Or
tell me, is it possible to use the information in your plan, field research, to combine the survey out of that?
I guess it's also possible to use like uh, after couple of field research when we ask people about their experience, we can of course we can do follow-up question during the field research. I mean that we're asking about it because is it like connected task, but exactly connected, or maybe it's like imagine situation that we didn't have previous research. Mm, but yeah, if we already had a field research, we can use it and already knew a little bit more about people background, about their experience, and use that information for our uh, research also, like for creating the page with surveys. Mm, but yeah, as I said, that for me it would be hard to understand maybe how that do in Japan, for example. Maybe it depends on how company works with that. But I guess it should be separate thing. But I'm not sure. It's not my level of requirements, I guess. Mm,
So let's say IKEA has a global office that is placed in Sweden, and then they have local offices that maintain IKEA. With this information, will it be helpful for you to define the next steps?
what about brainstorm with different different uh, departments of IKEA about that problem? And they maybe can offer us their opinion about the questions. But I still think it should be maybe different from different countries, but with the same base, but maybe with little uh, changes. Maybe we should ask them about it, what they think about our ideas, about our questions, and so on. And but it would be hard to communicate with all of them and discuss all of that problems. Mm,
Okay, I see. It's a good idea, I would say. Let's, in the interest of time, imagine that we want to collect at the first version return reasons only. Can
mhm,
you design and layout of the page and explain me how you do approach this?
yeah. Uh, I will show you again my papers. And yeah, we already received the link in by email, and we let's see the page. Firstly, I wanted to say hi to customer, for example, uh, to hi Alex. And a little bit, we already explained the reason why we provide the information, why we wanted to ask about their experience. But here we can just again to say like thank you very much, and little bit, but short explanation. And also we should remind what experience we wanted to ask about. Like recently you returned some stuffs and mm, like mm, returns, and maybe it's one of two piece of stuffs, and we wanted to ask about the reason, and it's can be like mm, checkbox about the reasons that we suggest, for example. And the last one should be like other, and piece of input with text that people can provide us. And yeah,
Okay.
I guess it's can be when we want to just know about the reason, we can ask them directly because mm, but maybe not, maybe not. I need to think a little bit about it because I thought about more how to define that question, but not exactly the question. Mm, of course, the question shouldn't be like reason. Yeah, it's too much directly, but uh, why you decided to return, something like that. But I think it can be open question, open-ended question or not. For example, to check couple of reasons, it would be easier for person, for user, but what it would be for us. It also depends on what type of information we want to collect. It should be quantitative or qualitative. When we're asking about reason, yeah, I guess it can be really different thing when we should also decide which type of information we wanted to collect. Is it should be qualitative or quantitative?
What would you recommend?
Again, it depends on which step. For example, firstly, I wanted to, as a researcher, firstly, I wanted to collect information as a qualitative, and after that, to check it and um, suggest some maybe suggestion about that, about idea what the main problem and so on. And after that, to check it, to find as a proofs through quantitative research to show that it's really, for example, main reason of returning. And after that, to provide some ideas about it, how to solve that problem. I mean like that approach, because firstly I want to know um, just experience of user, why they return, and it depends on type of information that we wanted to collect and where we are on our research. Yeah,
So
my
in the task, it says where we are sending an email to people who have just returned the product in a physical store. And after that, they can leave us feedback. will this information helpful for you somehow to define if we need to go qualitative or quantitative?
I can imagine that we already um, collected information from field research, and we already have some hypotheses about the reasons. And after that, we can use email for gathering quantitative information. I think that would be more um, easier, I would say, to ask them about, and I mean that checked that our hypothesis that we find from field research, and it would spend less time, and our users would be more satisfied after that, that they didn't they wouldn't write a lot of information or just skip it. Checkbox is easier, and on that step, I guess would collect quantitative information would be better. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
okay. Thank you. I would agree with this. Uh, can I ask a question regarding the layout? As far as I understand, on the top you have a couple of products that are listed there, and then you collect the information. What if I returned 5 or 10 products for different reasons? Because I can
yeah.
be returning a couch, I can be returning kitchen supplies. Um, how can I understand the page in this context?
Uh, I guess it's also maybe would be possible to organize that survey as a reason for each um, item. Like, but if it's really big amount of, but we can have different reason for different uh, items in one, for example, type. For example, kitchen stuff, and we can return each of them with different reasons, of course. And I guess we can like to check the first thing and to grab the reasons, or maybe it would be harder for understanding that we can click on each step and just to show the first picture with maybe some information, small information, and maybe price, because we can um, uh, as a person, maybe I wanted to have the same thing but with less price. Maybe I found out that's valuable for me. And yeah, like the next one would be the pictures and the questions and checkbox about it. It's also would be depends maybe um, on different type of mm, returning that we have already, because maybe we can collect information about all returns that we have on our system. It's yeah, like that. Maybe we can collect it from different groups, maybe not, but I guess would be easier just for each product to gather reason for that. Yeah, like
Okay,
that.
yeah, I see. So what you're suggesting, if I understand it, so we have a picture of a product and then the list of the checkboxes, and then the other
Yeah.
product, and then also the list of checkboxes. Okay, yeah. And what about if I'm returning like a lot of products? Say I'm a business customer, and IKEA also has this support for office furniture, for example, and I'm returning a lot of products, and then the page becomes very long. Is there a way we can not miss other products, you know?
Mm-hmm. Good question. It's also like we should divide it that type of customers who buy it like as a business or as a just a person. Mm, And maybe it would be really hard to ask a person about all of that stuff. And maybe we mm, could filter it, like maybe some product for us more important, and we can ask about I don't know. It's also a thing that we need to check how much product we can add in our survey. But I guess we shouldn't collect all information about it. And maybe we can also ask when person return a lot of stuff and one time, we can ask about little summary of that, why it's not so much but yeah, like why you decided to return all of that stuff, and maybe to find some another reasons and provide them maybe another uh, type of mm, type of service, like to offer them to return that easily. And I mean, like that some business can return in each year, for example, and maybe I don't know, it's just assumption that we can find the new idea for service for them in that approach, and why it's also would be maybe valuable to ask about little summary about all that returns, and we can ask them that we understand we returned a lot of stuffs, but we can choose couple of that, and could you share the reason of returning for that? But after that, why it was? Maybe they would be glad to share us that ideas. Yeah, like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. And I have the last question about this page. So let's imagine we somehow rank the products as you suggested to the most important ones for us, and then we have them on top, but still a person returns like 15 products. Maybe they bought I don't know, like packs closet, and
Mhm.
then they return all of them in many pieces. How can I save the information on the page, on the layout that you drew, have
How to
drawn?
save
Yes,
information
how do I
as
save the information on the page? Yeah. So I have 15 products, product, checkboxes, product, checkboxes. Where is the save button? Is there a save button? How is it gonna happen?
you mean just the bottom button about uh, no, I didn't get it, to be honest.
So I
Uh,
open the page, I see the picture of the product that I returned, and then the checkboxes with the return reasons and the block other. Then there is another product, and then also the return reasons and the block other. But what if I return 15, 20 products? Sh- How it's gonna work? Do I need to scroll down by the end of the page and click save? Or how would you organize me collecting information if I interrupt the flow, for example?
mm, uh, I would suggest some most useful pattern now for that, like to save all information that person already filled, like without click on some button like save and so on. And we should everything to save, but again, it's depends on development mm, uh, possibility, I would say, and maybe we have the junior developer for that, but I'm not sure. Maybe they should already know that approach, like to use different type of um, like infinity scrolling, for example, to implement it on that. But maybe we already have a layout on that thing. I would ask developers about how they can provide us with such type of service. Maybe we already have such things, and I just to copy that approach and so on. But the good pattern and save everything that person already did, and without asking about it. And if they decided to clear everything, we should to return. Yeah, like that. But again, depends on developers that they can do, and how much resources we have. Of course, it shouldn't be such a hard thing that we do, because it's maybe not new things. Yeah, like that. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much. I think I understand your ideas. Yeah, thank you for sharing them. That's definitely helpful. And yeah, on this, I suggest we finish the mock interview. And I thank you for that, and I thank you for your time. Thank you for watching this interview piece. I hope you made notes, and now you also have an idea of how Polina did it through this interview. Now let's discuss what has happened from my hiring manager perspective, and why, if that was a real interview, I believe Polina would not make it. First, let's discuss what went well. I really like that Polina was asking me to repeat the challenges. And this is a practice I recommend everybody to take, because interviews could be stressful, and it's very important that you solve the right problem. And if you repeat the challenge, the hiring manager could also be confident in it. Then Polina asked questions. She did not rush to designing, she did not open Figma, she did not start sketching designs right away. And this is actually a good thing, because all real problems in life have rich context around them. That's, by the way, why we will not be replaced by AI anytime soon. But the better you understand this context, the more successful you will be in solving a UX challenge. So Polina made sure she asked questions in the beginning before she started iterating on the designs. And when she was suggesting solutions, she was also providing me ideas. This is what I recommend everybody to do. We are going to talk about if those ideas were good, but even if your ideas are not good or not realistic, it is still important you provide them. Otherwise, you risk to look as a person who could be really attached to one solution, or as a person who can run into a creative obstacle easily. And overall, I really liked how Polina was calm and interested, and overall had this feeling of being curious about the challenge. And this is the best mindset to be in. It's easy for an interviewer and for an interviewee. It sometimes could be hard to achieve this mood, that's for sure, but if you can make it, this is what I would recommend. Now, what did not went so well? First, let's discuss what challenges did I give her. The first challenge was a purely UX challenge. I was trying to assess Polina's confidence and seniority in UX topics, meaning user flows, different touch points throughout the journeys, ideas, how can we stitch all this experience together. So things that are going beyond just user interface and screens creation. The second challenge, when I asked Polina to draw a screen, that was a challenge to assess UI skills and the ability to scope down the feature, to understand what shall be on the screen, to define the behavior. And for a junior, it would be enough to solve the second challenge and map out user flows in the first challenge and suggest just a couple ideas of where we can place this interview collection feature. So what prevented Polina in solving those challenges was, first, she did not open IKEA's website. Yes, ideally you should be prepared to the challenge. I also notified Polina that the challenge is going to be about IKEA, but even during an interview, you are allowed to open the current IKEA's website and to look at the page explaining the returns process. If Polina did that, she would be already familiar with what is the user flow, user experience there, and it would make it much easier for her to suggest meaningful solutions. She would have noticed that IKEA, at least in Germany, allows people to register returns before they go to the store. And users are really likely to use this feature because that allows them to avoid queues at the store. And it is also a great point to add a question about the returns reasons. Second, Paulina did not refer to any other e-commerce stores that are dealing with returns. Amazon, Zalando, any platform really right now are managing returns. And all the businesses, they are really interested in knowing what are the returns reasons so they can improve the product, reduce returns, and this is eventually what was needed. And if Paulina opened Amazon or Zalando and looked through the return process there, she could have clear and easy ideas that are also bulletproof because Amazon is a big company, they tested this process for sure, and you can treat it as a best practice. Yes, this process could be improved, there is always the room for improvement, but it would be an interesting conversation. We could discuss the current Amazon's process and see if that could be directly matched with IKEA, and if not, what shall we do to make it easy to adopt this solution. And also, when you are not really mentioning other products and other websites that are solving the similar problem, you risk to look as a person who did not really do the analysis. And for designers, it's kind of really bad because we are not inventing a wheel every time we design. We most of the time as product designers leverage the best practices in the industry, and your internal library of those best practices should be really vast even if you are a junior UX designer. And if you suggest how others are solving the same problem, you demonstrate this library and your knowledge. Also, unfortunately, Paulina's answers were sometimes really vague and hard to follow. And Paulina actually has a real work experience as a junior UX designer, so she's not a complete newbie. And this is clear why it is happening. We are practicing UX design, we're becoming better in UX and UI, and we're not necessarily practicing job interviews as much as we should. And job interviews is just another skill that we need to master separately. By the way, I have a course, Job Interview for UX Designers, which is live-based and with a lot of practice. And depending on the time you watch this video, the enrollment might be open, so check it out. This course really helps you to become better in your answers, better in your interview performance, and gives you confidence. Now, if Paulina took some time and structured her answers, she might look more senior than otherwise. And one good tip on how you can add the structure to your answer and make your considerations more easy to follow is to become more visual. I really enjoyed the parts when Paulina was sketching. And in my opinion, she could start sketching way earlier. Because remember the moment when she was suggesting to place a researcher to observe the returns process. And this is actually a pretty good thing to suggest. I would say it's the right thing to suggest. But because it was a bit hard to understand what Paulina meant, it made me ask her to start sketching so that I could understand the idea. This interview type has different names, but one of the versions of these names is a whiteboard challenge. And this is called exactly because we are waiting for our candidates to start sketching and ideating visually. By the way, you can use any tool. It's not necessary to use pen and paper. I personally don't really use pen and paper that much. That's why it's easier for me to do ideation and user flow sketching, write in Figma or Figma. And this is what you are also allowed to do if that is not said otherwise before the interview. But think about that upfront. How will you organize this? By the way, if you like this video so far and you want to receive more videos like that, give me thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below. It's important for me and for YouTube algorithms. Moving on. Now, for a junior UX designer, it would be enough to solve the second challenge about the UI and of the page, and to just draw a user flow in the first challenge and suggest some points of improvements. And when it comes to the second challenge, unfortunately, Paulina was also not really doing well. This is the main reason why I think that eventually, if that was a real interview, she would fail it. Because she could not really account for edge cases. I asked her, what if I'm returning 10, 15 products, even more? Will this page be so long? How can we shorten that? How can we save the results on the go, even if users will decide to drop out of the process? because this way we will receive at least some information about some items. I had to somehow prompt her to think about that, but junior UX designers are expected to think about those edge cases and behaviors on their own. And if she would have done this part at least, I might consider her to be as a junior, because she eventually knows all the right words, she knows how to use field studies, she knows that there is a difference between quantitative and qualitative research, she appreciates the possible complexity of IKEA's organization, she knows whom she is working with inside of the team. She mentioned that she would talk with a PM, with a user researcher, with an analyst. That's good. But yes, as a junior UX designer, you will mostly work on the page layouts, and you need to understand that there are edge cases, and you need to be proactive in defining them and solving them. By the way, if you are a middle career or a senior designer and you might be wondering what you could highlight in the challenge like this, then first you need to talk about the cost of research. So Paulina mentioned a field study she would do, and this is a very valid thing. But as a junior designer, she's not really expected to know the cost of research that much. It would have been nice, of course, but as a middle career designer or a senior designer, this is 100% you should mention, and suggest the alternatives as well if there is no time or budget constraints on this project. Second, you need to suggest me how to proactively define the return reasons. For Paulina, it would be enough to just say there's going to be a drop down with some returns reasons. She is not expected to define those reasons, but as a middle career and especially as a senior designer, you should know this. How can you structure your collaboration with different parts of IKEA to ensure that you have collected all of the reasons? You might need to suggest me what exact questions and methods you would do to define that. And as a more senior designer, you would need to ensure your solutions are scalable. Sometimes Paulina was suggesting solutions like give them piece of papers or talking with people on the streets that realistically could not be rolled out through all of the countries where IKEA has their presence. But from seniors and middle career designers, I'm really expecting them to know. So you see, the more senior you become, the more you have to care about business and about the feasibility of concrete solutions that you suggest. Talking about business from senior designers, I would really expect to define proactively the KPIs. We did not go in depth with Paulina on this because there were a lot of topics to discuss without that, but I asked her how could she ensure that our interference in the current process is not making the process worse. Again, not really expected from juniors, although in my opinion you could spend a minute talking about that. It's not a rocket science, but it's definitely something that I expect from seniors, so be aware about that. Overall, as I said, in my opinion as a hiring manager, Paulina would not make it through this interview, unfortunately. But it's good that Paulina have tried, and it's good that you are watching this video, because now you have experienced yourself being on the place of a hiring manager. And I hope you made notes about what you liked about her performance and what you did not like. This is how you learn. This is one of the ways to master the interview skills. But the practice is a king of it all. And if you want more practice and feedback from me, check out the link to my course down below. I thank you for watching to this video. That was it for today. If you like this video and you want to receive more videos like that, hit the subscribe button down below, and I see you next time.